Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final edition of the semis profile playoffs. Again, Big Back Rainbows here, and I have the pleasure today of speaking with Villain and Glasses and Zooey, the bot lane and mid lane respectively of Team Ambition Soul. First off, how are you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good.
A little tired, but I'm here.
Yeah, I bet nursing
Gotta rep the
school.
brand.
Yeah. Oh, yo, that's actually
That's
pretty cool.
fair.
Okay,
Dude, it's pretty slick, dude.
I like it.
I like it.
First things first, again, congratulations on making playoffs with your Team Ambition team last year and following on to this year. You guys have put on quite the showing and finishing second, correct?
No.
We finished
No,
third.
third. Okay, okay. Um, so with you guys finishing third, you've had the pleasure of having this bye week and either preparing or dealing with jobs, whatever the case may be. But how are you guys feeling as a team going forward and facing the infamous Pawn Sacrifice Black in their playoff history in duo?
Mizzou, you're kind of the autofield, so I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Uh yeah, so I'm gonna be honest right now. I had no intention of playing this season outside of one or two games, but Villa needed me more than that, and I love playing with the TA boys, so obviously I'd play with them. But
Yeah.
roster, it's been a little bit all over the place because I've literally been filling top lane, playing mid lane whenever Audio can't make it. But um I think the roster that we're going into with playoffs, I think it's really strong, and I think we match up pretty well against PSP again.
All right.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Villain?
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off that, the roster this season was really in flux. It was supposed to be set in stone. It was supposed to be pretty straightforward, but it didn't end up working out like that, especially in top lane, where we kind of had like a rotating door for a while. And thankfully we had Zooey around to fill in, and even here we're for playoffs for mid lane for us filling in, and we appreciate that. And we get the run back, which is nice. But before like last week, I would say I didn't feel very confident before like the last week of the season at all. I was just like, okay, we'll make playoffs, we'll lose, and then we'll move on. But like in the last like 2 weeks, like playing the last couple games, playing the some scrim blocks with these guys, it's a lot more confidence that I have for us, and I think we have a pretty decent shot tonight.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, Before we focus on the playoff aspect of this interview, obviously Zooey, Villain, you guys have been part of duo for many, many seasons now and are veterans at this point. As well as some other members of your team, right? So Daddy Zillion, he's been kind of here and there every once in a while. But the person I want to focus on most is Lawrence. So he's uh, promoted, I guess, best word to say, from IBSG to your team. How do you guys jive as a team with roster swaps and maybe a little bit of inconsistency with certain players and whatnot?
I think Lawrence is one of the best pure top laners I've played with in a long while. Like, um, in terms of just being a top laner, I think he's like better than like Princeton was last year for or 2 seasons ago for us. Because he is a top laner, and so he plays a variety of champions, and he seems to have a really good grasp of the game. And I wouldn't say promoted as it was just ranked out, but I
True.
mean he's a really nice guy. He plays really consistently. He's always solo killing top out of nowhere, and it's just really confusing. But and then he ults for me a bot lane and TP's bot, so I can't really complain about Lawrence. I think he's a great guy, and I like working with him.
Okay. Do you have
Uh,
any thoughts, Zooey?
he's a really selfless player, which
Yeah,
is really nice to have in top lane because every top laner that I've played with, for the most part, is super ego. Like I'm gonna skill check the enemy top laner. This guy will play whatever he wants for the team, and he won't complain about it. And he has fucking an amazing time doing it. It's like he has so much fun up there. So
Okay. And I know, in IBSG, he was obviously wrecking havoc and kind of forcing his will upon all the other top laners. With the GP presumably having harder competition in that lane specifically, how do you think he personally matches up against obviously the likes of Sheer and other noticeable top laners for the GP?
I mean I think you'd have a better idea of this than me, Zoe. I just play bot lane and right click.
uh, well, I think outside of Sheer, I think top lane was actually relatively weak this season from the few games that I played. I think there's a couple autofill top laners, and I think the best top laner that like the games that I've been in that I've played against was Half Fade's top laner. Um, and I think the E-sub. I'm not sure if it was an E-sub considered or if he's actually on the roster. The top laner for Exodia, that G2 Gatekeeper or whatever his name is.
Oh, okay.
I think that guy was really good as well, and I think he played really well in the series against Genesis. But I think outside of like those three, I don't think the top lane is really that strong.
Deep. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think that's fair for sure.
With being part of Duo, League takes up a pretty significant part of scheduling and your time in general. But outside of League, obviously, Villain, I know you deal a lot with nursing, especially with the coronavirus, so you're obviously extremely busy. But do you guys play anything else outside of League?
I barely play League right now. Like this whole season, like I think this is our first scrim we've played the entire season was this week. And we didn't even have our usual 5 players, so it's really funny. But outside of League, I mean, I stream obviously with a lot of different things. I used to do speed runs and randomizer. Now I just kind of stream variety stuff when I have free time. But I'm just kind of all over the place with what I'm playing lately. Like it's nothing in particular. Like right now I'm playing through Pokemon Coliseum just because I feel like it.
Oh,
Yeah, for me it's just kind of like whatever I'm in the mood for in that day. And my biggest two things right now, like I said, is just I'm playing through Pokemon Coliseum and I'm doing a hardcore Nuzlocke of Renegade Plat in my free time. How limited it is.
nice. What about you, Zooey?
Well, I had like a really bad burnout period for League after quarterfinals in Aegis. So I like took a break. I didn't take like a big break from the game. I still played like here and there, but I started picking up Valorant for a little bit. Like I had a Valorant phase with a bunch of my other friends. Some Splitgate, if you know what Splitgate is. It's basically
Yeah.
Halo and Portal. Yeah, it's really fun. I play Fortnite with a couple of friends. Really good game, unironically, even though people shit on it. And
If
I
it wasn't for
played.
like speed building, I'd love that game.
Yeah, I've been playing through Borderlands 2 a little bit as well recently. So I've been
Can
playing
you
a lot of shit.
can you do the Fortnite dance? That's the only question.
Which one? There's like 8 million of them, and they all come from TikTok now.
Default dance. It's always default dance.
It always default. Yeah, no.
All
Mm-mm.
right.
Might as well the default dance on fucking Glance's corpse tonight.
Oh yeah.
Well, obviously it wouldn't be a playoff interview without talking about playoffs. Like we previously mentioned, you guys finishing third and going up against Pawn Sacrifice. Um, but I don't know with scheduling if you guys had the opportunity to watch the quarterfinals between Exodia and Genesis. But do you guys have any initial thoughts on what you guys saw or what you expected or didn't expect from that series?
Oh, it was a series. That's for sure. I was watching in on my own time, I think, for the most part. I was really disappointed with Exodia. I thought they were a lot better than what they showed on that day, and I don't know what happened. But credits to Genesis, they took advantage of the situation and they managed to pull it out. And now they get the reward of getting bullied by their big brother. So, I mean, I was shocked that Exodia like just looked so terrible though. Like, Tomorrow looked lost in the jungle. Their bot lane was just kind of running it, and yeah, I mean, outside of that, I mean, that series was just not very quality games, but very entertaining games for sure.
What about you, Zooey?
Uh, I'd say there was definitely a cohesion diff in that game because I don't think there was any cohesion whatsoever with Exodia in that series against Genesis. I will give Genesis credit; they did look better than they did in the regular season in that series. I think J Boogie is unironically shaping up to be a pretty good AD
Solid.
carry. I'd love to give him credit for that. So,
I think the
um,
biggest thing was draft diff too. If I can
yeah,
step back in,
Exodia's
I didn't
outside
talk
of
about it,
game
but like,
one.
yeah, you can go ahead.
Outside of game one, Exodia's drafts were fucking abysmal. Holy shit.
I don't think it's even just that. I think it's the fact that, like, Genesis came with a game plan of, okay, we're gonna play simple, easy to execute comps that are gonna press buttons and just kill you. Whereas Exodia's trying to play like these Camille and like split push champions, and like A,
Mhm.
split push isn't very strong right now, and B, they look like shit on the champion. So what are you doing that for? Like, just came in like, all right, we're just gonna smack you in the mouth with very easy to execute stuff, and if you can't handle that, then you're gonna lose. And if you can handle it, you're probably gonna win. But I mean, they
I,
just kind of
I
rolled them. Team
I
fight
don't
comps.
remember. I don't remember if Alpalz's Talia got left open at all in the drafts, but he
He
looks
got it
a
once.
million. He looks a million times better on Talia than he does on Akali. And I've played against his Akali. I don't think his Akali is as great as his Talia. So if he's able to get his hands on Talia or Echo, I think are his like other top 2 champions. I think he would have had a better showing, but I think he opted for Akali twice in that series.
I know I played Akali once. I know I played Tilia once in like game 3 too, and then lost
Yeah.
that one. But yeah, I mean they just didn't look nearly as good as that one time they beat us. But then again, they also had a fed bot lane because I was playing Kennen, so who knows?
Yeah, wheel dipped.
Yeah,
Wheel dipped,
the
played it,
wheel
but I wheel
dip.
dipped, but who knows?
But yeah, it was a I wouldn't say shocking results, but it wasn't what everyone expected.
I fully agree with that. Yep. And now with that out of the way, as a team, what do you think is better to have that play-in opportunity, uh, for lack of a better term, or with you guys having that buy to either prepare more or figure out draft ideas or whatnot? What do you think is better for playoffs?
Being first seed, so you get a free path to finals. But outside of that, realistically, um, I don't think it's better or worse for either. It just kind of depends on the team. Like some teams need that week off to like recuperate, schedule some scrims and stuff, figure out schedules for playoffs. Some teams need to play more because they look like shit. It's kind of just a balance of what your team needs. And I mean, I think it definitely helps us to have the week off because we're just busy people in general on our
Hmm.
squad. It does kind of hurt because we don't have our jungler right now, and so we got to figure that out tonight. But 'cause he's on vacation, but we'll manage and put on a show. That's like for us. I definitely like the week off just because I'm so busy with my schedule right now. So, um, but I can't speak for everybody.
Right.
Um, kind of going off that, I would say
Depends how
like
you
how
use the
Villain
week off.
said, yeah, like how Villain said, it kind of just depends on the squad that you're playing with. Like personally for me, I much rather have a week off because it gives us time to figure out all the issues that we have, like playing the game and using the scrim sets that we have to figure out what those issues are and find a way to like band-aid it so that we don't have those issues show up in PSP. So, for example, last season we lost to them. We threw a 10K gold lead, so we played.
6K, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was 10K. It
No,
was
they
really
threw 8K. We threw like 6K.
it
Like
was there.
it
It
was
was
an
some
ugly
really
series.
big. Yeah, there were some really big gold lead throws in that series last season, but um,
That's kind of
playing
fun.
playing scrim sets
True.
like that where you have like an insane goal deficit and trying to figure out ways back into the game. Um, those are I always think those are really beneficial, and I also think blitz scrims are also beneficial, like playing the first 15 minutes and then just
Oh.
going next to next scrim set or next game. So
I like no comm scrims. Those are fun. Where you're
no
just
cons.
pinging and typing and
That's a
typing
fun.
timers in chat all
Those
game.
are Fiesta, but I definitely think that having the extra week off is more beneficial than having to play.
Okay. So let's go all the way back to week one. I know Villain, you've obviously been there, and Zooey, you've kind of been bouncing around and whatnot with your schedule and the team schedule.
Mhm.
Um, but what were your individual expectations of this season, and what were the expectations of the team, way back then?
Uh, our expectations was to win, like the whole thing. Um, we had 3 of the 4 returning players. We had a pretty solid roster, top to bottom, in my opinion. We weren't gonna try to kill ourselves playing during the season. That was the whole goal, is just to like take it easy. Was the main idea. Since a lot of us were in other leagues, a lot of us had other commitments to other teams, so it was like a low committal league for a lot of us. And it quickly went off the rails like halfway through, which is unfortunate just because of scheduling, having issues with players, like having issues with people just like kind of disappearing. Um, which it happens. People get busy, stuff happens. It's okay. And it kind of became into like a okay, we're pretty much guaranteed first from like the first half of the season to like oh shit, we actually have to like kind of try now to not hit fourth. Um, and we lost like 3 or 4 in a row, which kind of sucked in their really big games. But overall, like I think it was a pretty rough season, but it wasn't one that really like meant too much to a lot of us because, like I said, it was a low commitment season, and we're just gonna try to salvage what we can in the playoffs here and see if we can sneak away with a couple wins.
Okay.
I forgot what the question was. I'm not gonna lie.
Your personal
Expectations.
expectations and the team's expectations
Oh,
of the
yeah.
season.
Like I said at the beginning, I didn't have any intention of playing the season outside of like 1 or 2 games. So I didn't really. I was just kind of cheerleader, kind of just cheering TA on in duo. But now that I have to start playing, or I'm playing more with them, and I had to fill in more often than I would have liked to. I'd like to win, like that's my expectation, but obviously PSP is a feat. Like you have to really sweat your balls off to beat them. So um, that'll be a fun series. But yeah, I hate losing, so I try to win.
Big fan of winning. Big fan of
Yeah.
winning.
Yeah, winning is typically more fun than losing. That I can agree upon that 100%.
Winning cures all.
True.
True.
So, with you guys being in Gold Plat, you have, as Villain just said, like a tall feats and titans, so to speak, in terms
Yeah.
of teams with Have Faith and Pawn Sacrifice kind of being that S tier or whatever, however you want to equate them. Um, but for you guys, which team do you really fear or really gonna plan significantly more for going forward?
I think this week is just the only week I care about. I'll be honest. Like, win or lose, like in the finals, if we made it, like I wouldn't care as much. Like, just winning here would be really rewarding. Like in terms of all the years and how many times I've had to go up against Pawn Sacrifice and like haven't been able to actually win a lot of times. It'd feel really good just to like actually get a win on the board and just kind of show like, hey, yeah, we're here. We're still good. To a degree. Like after that, like finals, I think like if we win today, I think it's very reasonable to say we could win finals. We've beaten Have Faith before.
Mhm.
Um, we were one of the only teams that did it in the regular season. I think the only, and I think it's definitely doable. But it kind of just comes down to execution and seeing how people mesh. So we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's definitely today is the one I'm prepared for most probably.
I'm definitely more prepared for today than I am for finals. I think I match up better into Have Faith's mid laner than I do into Glance. Glance's champion pool is really toxic, and we both ego the shit out of each other. So
True.
basically, whoever gets ahead in lane just takes the game over by themselves. That's how it always is with me and Glance. So I think the Have Faith mid laner isn't as ego, so I can get away with dumb shits probably against him more than I can against Glance. Because if I fuck up against Glance, like it's the game's just cursed. So uh, I've definitely been I've definitely been prepping for tonight's because mid lane is, I would say, probably the most important position in this entire series against PSP.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that Glance, because in his interview he always commented on your Ignite mid usage and continued usage. So the only thing I'm gonna ask is that something we could expect tonight by chance?
Matchup dependent.
I don't know,
Okay.
Yes.
Zooey. Is that something we expect tonight?
Matchup dependence. Yes. You can
Okay.
expect it.
I would love to know that too.
Yeah. Flip a coin, villain. You'll find out later.
Yeah, spin the wheel, huh?
That's all I do, man. That's all I do in the bot lane.
Yeah. So, Villain, specifically for you, I asked the same question to Titan, but with you, not being able to get that duo championship yet, how confident are you individually with the roster you have to maybe eclipse that hill that you haven't quite gotten to yet this season?
You know, like I said a couple times tonight already, there's definitely a roster that can do it. Like, I'm confident these guys are good enough to do it, and like we're in decent enough form. I think it's a pretty good meta for champions in our pool and champions we play. And I don't think there's a team right now that looks unbeatable. Like
Okay.
in any of 1, 2, 3, 4. I think everyone could easily like drop a set or even drop games to each other, except maybe Genesis, but like that's besides the point. Um, I mean, realistic. Like I think the
Yeah.
top three, any of us could win. Like, and we have a history of having finals and semis anyways. So we'll
True.
see if we can hold true for that. But yeah, I'm confident these guys can win. And boost my ass to a championship. Whether or not I'm a pivotal part of that, we'll see. But I don't mind being boosted by my support if it means I still get the title.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, title's a title, and you got to be proud of it. So.
Got to call in the subs for it, but
Yeah.
we'll manage.
Yeah. So, talking about your matchup specifically against Pawn Sacrifice, Zooey kind of hinted toward this earlier, but who are your guys' players to watch for each team for tonight's game?
Total Max 9.
Yeah. I think the jungle is also going to be really important. I think whichever team has the better mid jungle synergy in this series is going to come out on top. I think Villain and Daddy Zillion match up pretty well into Skylancer and Parmy. I don't even know if Amari's playing. I think he's eligible now because he's been playing solo queue. So we have no idea. We'll see. But even then, I still think that they match up pretty well. I think top lane is just kind of going to be neutralized. Luckily, Lee Sin top isn't meta anymore, so we're not going to get abused by that like we did last season. But yeah, I think sign in and whoever we have playing jungle tonight is going to be the most important.
Okay. What about you, Villain?
I think jungle obviously is the most important matchup to look out for because like we have an unknown factor in who the fuck are we actually playing, and they have Sinning who's looked really good. PS looked a lot better ever since he came out of the roster, like in the early season, from the PSA team, and they look like a completely different team since he started playing. And losing Amari for them was a really big blow, I think. But at the same time, I don't think he was like wanting to play much anymore as it was. And I don't know if he'll play tonight. I don't know if he won't play tonight. I doubt he would. I doubt they would change things up now unless they actually like have someone at a wedding or something and need to call in another player. But I mean, I think definitely like that matchup's interesting. I think the Clan Zui matchup, of course, like they're pretty evenly matched. It's very very close. Um, and we don't know anything about the top lane matchup between Lawrence and Sheer because we've never seen them play yet. Lawrence wasn't on our team until like the final roster lock in. At that point, we'd already played Pawn Sacrifice twice. So I think that's definitely one to look out for as well coming in. This is about lane matchup we've seen a couple times. Me and Ariel versus Skylancer. Their support seems competent, so like it's not like it's a downgrade from Omari by any means. Just a different style.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think we are the better bot lane, but I mean, of course, I'm gonna think that. I always think that, no
Right.
matter what matchup we're in. And but yeah, the top half of the maps will really interest me because either of those matchups I feel like could go either way, and it's kind of just like who wins 2 out of 3 of those to a degree and can snowball the map from there. But I like our chances.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned that you obviously think you have the better bot lane, and in best of 3 series, I think that's probably the most important thing is just your individual confidence, right? Because if you don't feel confident, that's going to lead to degrading gameplay and possibly a loss. So you always got to be confident in yourself, 100%. And so, excluding yourselves, if you had to pick a team right now that would win finals, who would it be and why?
Have faith.
Have
Easy.
faith, 100%.
I think they just have like a more consistent like way to win in
Okay.
terms of just like their overall roster and like how they play the game. I think PS has looked very beatable this season from all facets. Like I think they almost lost to us in the first game. That like we probably should have won, but I made a bad call and tossed it. But I think Have Faith is definitely the favorites, I'd say, of any team right now. Um, I think it's no question them. I mean, top to bottom, they're pretty much able to match every team, every position, and yeah, I mean, they're only like, I think they only have what like 1 or 2 regular season losses. I
Yeah.
think it was like 2, 1 to us and 1 to PS. So yeah, I mean, they're a solid team.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Have Faith has more threats than PSB in terms of carry potential. I think Glance and Sign In are like their main 2 carries, and Have Faith, like literally L5 players have a chance at taking the game over and controlling it. So I would that's probably why I would choose Have Faith over PSB to win finals.
Wonderful. I personally agree. I think, Pawn Sacrifice has lived their or outlived rather their realm on duo, so to speak, and it's time for Collateral specifically to show Homari that he is definitely competition.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's all the questions I have with you guys. With that being said, though, with your game obviously being tonight, is there anything else you'd like to add? Any, maybe flame or just praise in general?
You can go first, Billy.
Glance, I'm coming for you, buddy. Nah. Shout out to Prots and Hadio. Hadio asked me a lot to play for him when he couldn't make it. even though I didn't want to, and I felt bad every time. I literally wanted to play 2 games, and Hadi was like, "Yeah, you can play this game. You can play this game." He's like he's like
I'm out
Oprah
this
Winfrey in this
week.
pitch. He's Oprah Winfrey in this pitch. He's throwing me like, "You get to play. You get to play. Everybody gets to
He just
play,
wanted to keep
dude."
his perfect record, dude. That's what it was.
Yeah,
It was big brain.
Hadio's on another level. But shout out to
True.
those two for letting me play again.
I mean, my biggest ups were to Zooey, man. He filled in so much for us and was put in really bad spots a lot of times because of us having really bad like timings. And I really appreciate him doing a lot of the work for this team and doing a lot of the carrying in a lot of these games. But like everyone at TA is great. From the players on Wolves to some of the other orgs and the 76 teams Prots runs. Prots does a lot of work behind the scenes, and I really appreciate all the effort he puts in for us to like help make this roster exist in playoffs right now. So without him, we would not have Lawrence or our jungler or Zooey playing probably. And as always, everyone I played with this season, Nubly, Spoozy, Lawrence,
I love
Zooey,
Spoozy.
Zillion, just great guys all across, and I love playing with these guys. So hopefully we can do something fun tonight.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, tonight's definitely going to be a banger. You know, Villain, you commented a couple
Hashtag banger
times.
game, live evil.
Yeah, the real finals, so to speak, is happening this weekend. So I personally really look forward to it, and I want to thank both of you for your time. It's been a pleasure, and good luck in your games tonight. And I hope you guys come out on top and give Villain that championship.
Yes, sir.
GA.
Thank you.